Going live.
Well, there
You're
we are.
live. Welcome to the Ben and Lauren Show. I'm Ben, and this is Lauren.
That's me.
I was just admiring my hair in the video there.
You're a little lopsided today. Must be time for a new haircut.
No, maybe.
Think tomorrow.
This is what I used to do when I was in high school. I'd slick my hair. Now it's just kind of getting up kind of high. Anyway, I'm sure everyone came to see that.
You had nice hair. You have nice hair. So, what did we do this week?
Well, we had our 7th year wedding anniversary on November 28th, and we are now married 7 years. Hey, Dustin Wells is online. How you doing?
Hi, Dustin.
So
it was a nice anniversary. You know, we haven't had too many anniversaries where we did not haul along a nursing baby or I was quite pregnant. I think that we've had maybe two.
Yeah. Yep.
Two where I wasn't nursing or pregnant. No. The last one I wasn't nursing, I was pregnant. It was Elena.
So we normally have babies with us. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Dustin. Yeah, we.
He says congratulations.
Dustin says congratulations.
The transcript.
Yeah, my hair is just messed up.
It's okay. You look great. So we went out to a restaurant by us called Cooper's Hawk Vineyard, and I guess they're a chain.
It's a place based out in California. And they do California wines, and they have some good stuff there.
It's a new restaurant in our area.
I tried. We had basically a dessert. This is what we do for. It's kind of an expensive place, so we basically get one appetizer, split it. We get one dessert, we split it. We get one glass of wine, and we split it.
They were really nice. They split the glass of wine.
They did.
Us.
They even gave us 2 glasses, so we didn't have to share the same glass. And they gave us 2 plates. No, 1 plate.
No, we had 1 plate, but that was okay.
But this is the kind of place where, you know, our budget for a meal is splitting an appetizer, splitting a dessert, and splitting a glass of wine.
Well, to be fair, your mom and dad gave us a really nice gift right before we left, where if we'd wanted to, we could have spent it on a really nice dinner.
Right. But we're putting that towards other things.
We've got a pile of stuff we're saving for, so.
Yeah, little by little, we're knocking them down.
It's a very nice evening, though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. We tried a wine that's called Nightjar. And it's actually kind of a port. It comes in a very small bottle.
You get about a tablespoon in a glass if you split it.
When you order a glass, you only get about this much of the stuff, but it tastes wonderful. It
tastes really good with chocolate cake.
I'm putting that in my if anyone wants to get me a good gift, that's right there.
My list of gifts for potential presents is piling up.
I normally don't have a big long list, but you know, sometimes it grows.
Well, generally for Ben's birthday, I get together with our families and we kind of come up with something because Ben has all the little kind of stuff that you would need. So the things that he would like are all big things. So I now have a longer list than usual. I can get together with everybody and say, what do you think? Should we get Ben a bottle of wine? Anyway, so yeah, we did discover something to add to Ben's birthday list.
So what else have we been talking about? We've been talking, tomorrow night begins the first night of Hanukkah. You can't say Hanukkah with an H. You got to get that guttural in there. Hanukkah.
Daniel's been practicing it. One of his first words has been yuck.
Yuck. Yuck.
And he uses it at every opportunity.
So we just in time for Hanukkah, we came across a website talking about questioning whether or not it is a good thing to celebrate Hanukkah. And I've always thought, sure it is. Read John chapter 20. We learn that Yeshua visited Jerusalem for the Feast of Dedication, and it's pretty clear cut. He celebrated the Feast of Hanukkah. We should too, right?
Well, that's kind of the conclusion we came to, but it took us a couple of years to come to that because it was one thing for us to switch away from holidays we were familiar with and start celebrating holidays that God said to celebrate. But we didn't really want to quickly jump from one set of traditions to another set of traditions. And Hanukkah, that seemed to us to be a much more traditional kind of thing. And in many ways, it looks like a replacement for Christmas. And we didn't really want to tell our kids we're not going to celebrate Christmas, but we'll go over here and do the Jewish version.
Right. So we're not doing
we're
not doing a Jewish version of Christmas. So, I mean, if we're going to do that, we might as well do Christmas since we're Christian, right?
You would think.
You would think. Well, the reason we left, we don't celebrate Christmas is because of certain elements that are in it. So now it's been brought to our attention of certain elements that perhaps might be in Hanukkah, or at least the traditional observance of Hanukkah, that are concerning. We won't go into the details, but let's just say it surrounds this little candlestick right here.
Now, this candlestick is called a Hanukkah, so it's not a proper menorah. It's got 4 slots here, 4 slots here, and this one in the middle. This one in the middle is the candle that you light traditionally to light all these others.
The servant candle.
We always heard that it was called the servant candle. It's actually called the shamash, which we were told was servant. But it turns out that the Hebrew word shamash actually means brilliant or sun. It's usually referring to sun.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard a contention that this actually has its roots back into Babylonian sun god worship. So, of course, we find out about this the week of Hanukkah. This is how we do holidays. We find out the day before Passover that we really wanted to be celebrating Passover we find out a month before Passover. We should be celebrating it tomorrow. And Ben's like, get the leaven out of the house.
We always have a tendency right before any kind of holiday to have some kind of mini crisis we need to solve first. So this year, it's not so much Hanukkah, but specifically the lighting of the Hanukkah.
We're not sure if we should light this one. Because this has not really anything to do with the candlestick that God commanded to be made that he talks about used in his worship, which has 7 branches, and he's very specific about the 7 branches.
So technically, this is a menorah in that it is a candlestick, but it's not a menorah in the sense of what God ordained with the 7-branched candlestick, traditionally known as the menorah. That's why this is called a Hanukkah, and it's not the same thing. And I've always thought it looked a little strange having too many candles. I've been always looking for the 7, the 7. You got 1 in the middle and 3 on either side.
Dustin has a thought. I was going to wait for him to finish it, but I think he'll get to it. So basically, we've been debating all day today. Today's a Sabbath. We did not go to Bible study today, which we usually do, but we've gone for a couple weeks in a row. What we find is when we go to Bible study, we are not really able to rest on the Sabbath. So every few Sabbaths, we kind of have to take a break and say, well, we can't go today. We really have to rest.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for us to practice with our children, although sometimes we get distracted on the Sabbath when we're trying to rest, and next thing you know, the children are running this place.
They get a little bit nutty. But so today we ended up spending a considerable amount of time discussing, should we keep Hanukkah tomorrow? If we're going to observe it, if we're going to celebrate it, should we light this candlestick?
Now, I don't think Hanukkah itself is a problem.
No, I don't.
It's in the book of Maccabees. It's remembering specific historical events. But the question goes back to the tradition of the candle. Now, we never actually recited the Jewish blessing because the Jewish blessing says that God commanded the lighting of the candle, and never did he command the lighting of candles on Hanukkah. So we would just basically do the traditional light the servant candle and then light on the first night the first candle and so on, and have them all completed. I don't think there's anything pagan about lighting candles.
Yeah, we did see it suggested. Okay, Dustin says, I saw something that Jews had such reverence for the menorah and its use in the tabernacle, they would not use it outside of its intended purpose, thus the creation of the Hanukkah. Yeah,
I've actually thought about that too.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's hard to find 7-branched menorahs because there's a little bit of a mysticism.
Go ahead and keep talking.
Sure.
We've got an escape.
A little bit of reverence for that 7-branched candlestick because it's what's in the Bible. And we have Daniel who came out, and I think he wants to make an appearance. He's a little sad. When you see the little door open up and a guy crawling out, that's when you know.
Can you say hi?
Can you wave?
He says, what is going on? So that's what we spent a lot of time discussing today. And we don't really want to jump out of one pagan tradition, which is worshiping God in ways that the pagans worship their gods, and jump into another tradition where we're doing the same thing, worshiping our God the way the pagans worship theirs.
We also don't want to be pagan, full of paganoia,
You
so
want
to
to light
speak.
the Hanukkah?
We want to take this stuff seriously, but we also want to be kind of rational about it. He wants to
Dustin
light the
thinks
Hanukkah.
that
Yeah,
Daniel wants to
Daniel
light the
does.
Hanukkah.
This will be Daniel's first Hanukkah that he's going to remember. Well, maybe.
He
I don't know if
might
he'll
not
remember that
this
one.
either.
But our children, we're establishing these traditions right now.
Right.
I mean, we're at a point now where if we stopped lighting the Hanukkah, our children probably wouldn't. Yeah. Our children probably would be okay at this point. But if we go on for 10 years and then decide to stop, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to change it.
We found that we are trying to be really careful with traditions that we're establishing all over the place, because we're kind of starting with a slate much blanker than anything we ever started with. I mean, for our families, when we were growing up, Christmas is an established tradition.
Right.
There's many established traditions we grew up with that we are kind of starting over from scratch. And we are trying to be really careful not to put our kids in the same position. And every parent does the best they can. This is not like our parents did something bad to us in any way. But we're trying to make sure that we don't start things that we would have to cancel later, to the regret of all.
And also, when I see a lighting of a Hanukkah, I don't see paganism. I don't.
Do you see paganism in the nativity set?
Graven images?
But still, when you were, do you see really anything pagan when you see people singing Christmas carols?
No, I don't. No.
No,
So it's not like we're looking disparagingly at people who celebrate Hanukkah in the traditional manner. It's just a matter of figuring out what. Dustin,
we'll see you later.
Oh yeah,
Dustin.
see you, Dustin. Dustin says he's going to sign off and do the Dustin and Cassie show. So anyway, that's what we've been talking about today. Is should we light the Hanukkah or should we do something else? Because we'd like to have some kind of celebration to honor the Maccabees and the story of the rededication of the temple. And it is true that Yeshua did celebrate the Feast of Dedication.
And we are also looking forward to, there's going to be a day when there is a new temple dedicated, a real new temple. When Yeshua comes back, there is going to be another, and it's going to be dedicated. And that's going to be a wonderful day. Yeah. That's something to look forward to. It's something to remember that has happened before, and we look forward to it happening again.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much what we've talked about most of the day today, and that was pretty much the highlights of our week.
Hi.
Lauren, you want to tell everyone about the drink you made today?
Well, we've been drinking turmeric hot chocolate because we wanted to start taking turmeric. And turmeric is very difficult to drink straight up. It is kind of soapy tasting and a little bit bitter.
But this is good.
So we saw recipes online for turmeric hot chocolate where you put cocoa, and you have to use a fat with turmeric to absorb it properly. So you can add coconut oil and coconut cream. And then we have raw honey and black pepper.
So this is dairy-free. Tastes, if I were to describe it, it tastes very creamy, very chocolatey.
It's got some cinnamon in it, too.
A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of black pepper kind of gives it a spice.
It reminds me of Aztec hot chocolate.
And the turmeric, you can taste it in there, but it's not real soapy. It's not real overpowering. It mostly tastes like chocolate and kind of thick and creamy. It's really, really good. So
yeah, that's been our drink of choice.
So maybe we can put the recipe in the description below so you can enjoy it also.
Other people can learn how to actually drink turmeric.
And this is how you can get your turmeric in your diet every day, because I used to make turmeric eggs, got tired of it. I used to try making turmeric water where I put turmeric in the water and then just guzzle it, and that got a little rough. So turmeric hot chocolate. I think this has been the best means of taking turmeric that we've come up with.
It was good.
So on that note, I think that was probably it. Say goodnight, Daniel.
Yeah, I've got to nurse this guy and get him back to bed.
Yeah.
He's cutting, I think we counted, he's up to 5 teeth that he's cutting right now. All full 4 molars and one of his bottom teeth, which means he wakes up every night about now and he's really sad.
So say goodnight, Lauren.
Good night, Lauren.
I knew she was going to do that. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.